Greetings. Today is Wednesday, November the 7th, 2012, and follow up on yesterday's audition tips. My wife and I thought maybe we should do one for actors on a set. Maybe you are on a set for the first time, or maybe you've been on the set before, but some of this is probably going to be useful information even if you've heard it before, because you probably forgot.
Number one.
Number one is, well, you're a volunteer on a volunteer production. So you're thinking, why does this really all matter to me because I'm a volunteer? Well, the fact is you're volunteering most likely to get the experience so that you could actually go to an audition for a paid gig and succeed. So the value of being a volunteer on a volunteer production is you get to be stressed out a little bit by performing. You're going to get some performance anxiety. Someone's going to expect you to perform well, so you're going to get a little bit of stress there. And that by itself is worth the money that you're not being paid. Moving on, so you've been picked for a role, you're arriving on set. The first thing I want you to remember, kind of like going to your audition, arrive early. If the call time is 9 and you know that the crew's going to be there maybe at 8, show up at 8. At the very least you can do is lend a hand, and you'll also know you're not late. And if anything needs to be handled and needs to be attended to that you're, urgently needing to do, well, you've got that extra time, as opposed to walking in the door just before call time, which, not good. No, you'll probably end up being late, which is not good. Number 2.
That's 3 now.
Oh.
Allergies or a medical condition.
If you haven't been asked directly, explicitly, if you have allergies or some medical conditions, you want the production team to know about this. It could affect the craft service order. If you have got really, sensitive eating requirements, you might want to be bringing your own food. Number 5?
Number 4.
Oh, 4.
If there's no food on the set and you require it.
Ah, yes. So sometimes you might show up early in the day and you have been told there isn't going to be any craft service until later in the day. So if you need to eat a lot of something before you start your day, eat it before you get to the set. Don't arrive and start looking for food and have to leave for food or leave for coffee or leave for who knows what.
Or bring it with you.
Bring whatever you need. Have it with you already. And preferably probably eat whatever you had to eat and drink before you got there.
The release forms.
Ah, yes, this is a fun one. So, you're in the movie and the credits roll and your name isn't spelled right. Well, it's probably because whatever you wrote on the cast release form wasn't entirely legible. I would say make an effort to print clearly. Now, we were tracking down some people in our movie, First Ladies, to get the spelling cleared up, but if we couldn't get a hold of them by the time we submitted the movie, the spelling would be our best guess because some of the printing wasn't very well and clearly printed. What else? What do you got?
Quiet on the set.
Ah, yes. This is one that comes up over and over again. So the performance by the cast is excellent, and somebody who's not in that scene, perhaps an actor, goes for a walk tippy-toeing along and they trip over something. Clang, bang. Guess what? That take is ruined. It might have been the best take they gave all day. Whatever. So quiet on the set means no talking, no whispering, no popping bubblegum, no tiptoeing around thinking you're being quiet as a mouse, no going in or out of a door. It means sitting basically totally still. You can move when they're between takes, but once you hear quiet on the set, like freeze. Remember that game when you were a kid? Freeze, someone touches you, you freeze, and you have to wait? That's what you do when you hear quiet on the set. Total silence, don't move.
Arrive with your lines memorized.
Ah, yes. So this is going to be absolutely important. It's a really horrible thing to do, to have to try and shoot around an actor who doesn't know their lines, because I like to do long takes. And if I have to start cutting around the parts that the actor doesn't know, it just gets really ugly really fast. It's not good. So make sure you know your lines. Do what you need to do to know your lines. If you need to rehearse with friends and relatives, do it. If you need to rehearse in front of a video camera, do it. If you have maybe your laptop with the webcam, do it. Make sure you know your lines before you arrive on set.
Costume and makeup.
Costume and makeup. So you might have been expected to show up in costume, or you may be coming and getting dressed in costume. Make sure you've got adequate time to do that. Make sure you've got everything. Make sure you remember to bring it.
Never give direction on behalf of the director.
Ah, so you're on set and you have a suggestion. The best way is to ask a question. Don't just say, hey, so-and-so, why don't you do this? Because there might be a reason why the director hasn't asked for that. There might be a reason why the director's letting things go the way they're going. But if you are unclear about what you're supposed to be doing, you should certainly ask a question. If you've been given direction that's unclear, point out that it's unclear, because there's no point in you doing something that isn't what was requested because you didn't understand it, because someone like me didn't express himself clearly.
Never hurry the director for any reason. If you have to leave at a certain time, do not volunteer for the project.
Yes. So if it's an all day long shoot, say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., please, please, please clear your schedule. Do not show up at the set and say, oh, I have to leave at 4. Because there's probably, if the production's been properly scheduled, there's probably a full day, and you saying you have to leave at 4 is going to mess things up in a serious way, and probably the word might get out, and you will not like the fact that somebody just, they say thanks for coming out, but they never select you as a cast member because of that one incident where you left early.
Last but not least, why would a volunteer want to obey all the preceding?
So this goes back to the first thing I said. All this stuff, and probably more, that I just mentioned, you're thinking, well, that's a lot of stuff I got to do and not do, and why would I care, and why? I'm a volunteer, I'm not being paid. Yeah, sure, I'd care if I was being paid. No, what you're being paid indirectly, you're being trial run. You're being given a chance to experience what it's like to be in the pressure cooker of delivering lines and acting and all that stuff. And the difference here is when you screw up or someone next to you screws up, it's like, well, it's a volunteer production. That's okay. We expect that to happen. We're going to have other things go wrong anyway. That's, not the issue. What is the issue is give it your best shot. You're a volunteer. Do what you can to be a professional while you're being a volunteer so that later everyone remembers what a professional you were, and when that role that comes up that pays cash, somebody might think, oh yeah, I remember that person that came with their lines all memorized, they were totally ready, they were early, they helped out putting stuff together on set, taking stuff down on set, putting stuff away, whatever. Leave a professional image, and that just makes it that much easier to get cast on the next production where you go to an audition. The word will spread.
And you know what's left?
What's left?
Nothing. That's it. Cut!
Cut! Bye!